under Module 4, Supplier List, Unit 4.
Thank you, Davina.
Module 4, Supplier List, Unit 4, Davina. Thank you, Davina. How you doing, girl?
There's
You
John.
good?
Good.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, everybody. I see John Hyder. I see Darlene. Look at all these awesome people. Hey, and we got a guest speaker today. Get ready. Get excited. Get excited. I see Gail. Hey, Esther. Good to see you as always, Esther. There's Carol Ann, Diane, and John Breton. There we are. We got Sylvia here. Rusnita, welcome. Good to see you. Loretta, Mark over in NorCal, Darren, Julia, so many people here. Mary, good to see you, Mary. And of course, Ace, Katie, Carl, and many, many others. We already got 153 people joining us live right now. If you're brand new here, once again, John Lavenia, here to be here with you every day, as always. And we're going to go ahead and have a fun time today. If this is your first time on our daily success call, we got a little bit of a special treat today, which we did about a month ago. We're going to do again. I did hear some great content. The meeting before the meeting was in full swing, just as we were getting going here. And people sharing with each other the various things they've discovered. Of course, a lot of people enjoying Bernadette's ability to consolidate and create order on a spreadsheet. So that is in the chat. If you are looking for how to get into that is in the chat. And also, yes, you guys, you can share links and files here in the chat. I know someone was asking that question just as we were going live. So a couple of things before we get going. Our community is growing fast. I just had a meeting with like 15 new members who had just gotten started in the last few hours, right? So for those of you who've been here with us for a little bit, couple weeks, you're becoming more of like the seasoned veterans of all this. And you may be thinking, oh, I'm only a couple weeks into this. I'm still a newbie. Yes, relatively speaking, compared to Sophie, you're still a newbie. Okay. But assuming that posture of like what I heard Mark talking about just before we went live, like I'm going to show you how we get it done, right? In dealing with suppliers and dealing with people that you're meeting on your journey here as you become a successful Amazon seller. Taking that posture of the, of the entrepreneur. In fact, Mark, why don't you come out here for a second? I know you were citing one of the books I recommended, Ecker's book, I believe, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Okay. Mark, give us those insights you were just, because I really dug that. I know a lot of people did too. You were hitting a nerve with that. Go ahead and what are your thoughts?
Well, I think what people need to appreciate, if you're kind of in that, like I said, if you're in that sort of vanilla environment or the gray scale, you need to kind of figure out which direction you're going to go. And Ecker is very much about that in that book. He really calls it out. And when I first started reading, actually, I stepped back a little bit because I thought, wow, this guy's saying, if you're poor, and he just called it like it is. He says, if you're poor or if you're rich, he just made two categories. If you're this way, this is how you think. And he lists numerous examples. Every single chapter he does that. If you are on this end, you think this way. Basically, you come to find out every excuse in the world. If you're poor, this is how you think, and you're always looking for excuses to walk away from the issues. If you are rich, it's because you're tackling your issues, you're finding solutions to your problems, and you're moving forward. Now, poor and rich, we can sit there and say it's a monetary issue, but realistically, I think what he's trying to drive at is it's more about how you are. Are you poor in your thinking, or are you rich in your thinking? And the results of that and that way of thinking is what drives you in one direction or the other. I mean, I don't know if that's. I hope I'm getting the right message here, John. But
no, that's
kind of what I got.
Thank you, Mark. And look, that's another. This isn't like a new truth or anything, but it's a new angle on. Here's how we can actually apply these universal truths into what we're attempting to do here. And so, whereas 100 years ago, Napoleon Hill may have described it differently, and actually with much more detail, to that ideal target audience that he was speaking to. Here's T. Harv Eker, right? Later in the 20th century, and now, of course, we've got plenty of books and things that we can go. look, we a lot of us are reading Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant, right? Which also has to do with the mindset of basically entrepreneur versus employee, or rich versus those the haves and have nots, right? But it all starts right here. And so, in fact, in Kiyosaki, the book that really put him on the map was Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? So some of you may have read that. This has been instrumental in a lot of people's ability to apply the same concepts, but actually use them in life. And so when we look at all this training that we're doing here, Mark, thank you again for your contribution, because I know it's resonating with a lot of
John,
people.
what is the title of that book?
Which one? Secrets
one
of
that
the Millionaire
Harv-
Mind? T. Harv
What's-
Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
right?
It's one of the
What is
first
it?
books I recommended to you. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Right. By the way, they're not secrets, but if you say you got a secret, it sells lots of books. So that's a little marketing lesson for you there as well. But the yeah, there's no new truth, right? But you got these concepts that really don't matter unless you can use them. And this is one of the things that I've talked often about with new members. And so once again, welcome to all of our new members, which are too many to name at this point. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here just reading a list of names. This whole idea of this education, or any education, is that you can have an effect with it, that you can cause something to occur in the marketplace, that you are taking ownership of that experience. You're not effect, you're cause, right? To a greater and greater degree. It's an interesting position to be in, or to place yourself in, especially if up to this point you have just been fully indoctrinated into like employee mindset. Like, it's not my agenda, it's the corporate agenda. Okay, well, we're transitioning out of that now, in whole or in part. All right, so with that in mind, I've got a guest speaker for you all today. I get a day off. Can you believe I get a day off? Oh my goodness, I get to sit back, relax, and listen. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got none other than the delightful, awesome Amanda Greaves. Now, some of you have met her before. She was here with us like a month ago from over in the UK. I know we got a lot of Brits here, a lot of Irish, Americans, you name it, we're here. We don't have too many Aussies or Kiwis on here because they're all asleep right now. But Amanda is an actual Amazon coach. Like, she knows stuff about Amazon. Yeah. And she's got a working Amazon business, and she's going to be talking with you today about what's working now, right? Because I know last time we had her out here, the whole, COVID-19 thing was heating up. Now I think it's cooling down, right? So she can give you some perspectives from the trenches, right? You guys know, in my case, I'm reading books and, expounding philosophy to you. She's got like in the trench kind of perspectives that she can give you here today. How we're going to work this is we'll do the hand raising thing, lest we have total chaos on the call. So if you got questions for Amanda, also, if you're watching right now on YouTube Live, and if you have a question, you're going to want to jump on the Zoom link. Okay, so do that. So this way you can actually participate, because Amanda's not looking at the YouTube chat, but we do have the Zoom microphones and chat and everything else going on right now. Amanda, why don't you come out here? And I know there's some people who haven't even met you yet. So Amanda Greaves, ladies and gentlemen. Amanda. Where's Amanda? Uh-oh. Maybe I'm not getting the day off. What happened to Amanda? Where's Amanda?
Am I here?
You
Can
there?
you hear me?
Oh my goodness, there she is.
Hello.
Thank you, Amanda. You saved me. You saved me. There you are.
Hello.
Very Hello. How's your internet connection, Amanda? I know the
Yeah, the
UK has
wonders
been
of
having some internet
technology.
challenges. Yeah? Your connection okay?
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm as close to it as I can get. So fingers crossed.
Okay.
It'll be okay. But yeah, it's lovely to be here again. Hi to those that have seen me before, and I know that I've had calls with a few of you, which is an absolute pleasure. Really, really nice, and as I'm sure you'll all agree, John is an absolute legend. He keeps us all motivated, which is fantastic. And when he invited me to come back, I was really quite excited because I enjoyed it so much last time.
Well, thank you, Amanda. And I'm go ahead and mute a little rustling of microphones there. So obviously, everyone, Amanda's got a little bit of a reduced connection. So we're going to do the hand raising thing today via Zoom. And so this way we're not talking on top of each other and we can hear what's going on. Amanda, I know that one of the, thank you, by the way, I'm glad you're excited to be here again. We're excited to have you because one of the things that I talk about a lot is the idea that we're not in this alone. In fact, a lot of people assume that, well, I'm going to go do online, business. I'm just going to be all alone in my cubicle in my house and staring at my computer screen and never talk to anybody. How miserable is that, right? So there's the whole community aspect of this, which obviously you are appreciating as well. Maybe a little preamble from you about where you'd like to go today with your time here with us and the half hour or so that we spend together, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. So really, following on from what you said earlier, last time I was on here, it was almost just at the peak of when everybody was going into lockdown, and the curve is flattening, which is great. There's a lot of countries that are now starting to open up in terms of manufacture and things like that. I think India is slightly behind because I know I've had feedback saying that a lot of Indian suppliers are not doing anything at the moment. So that's something to bear in mind, but that's, it's not going to be forever. It will probably, hopefully, start to come back in a few weeks. Certainly China is sort of really motoring on and sort of getting there. And a lot of other countries. The USA is always a fantastic country to source in. I know that a few were talking about locating supplies in the USA before the session started. And, that's, if you can find something and source in the USA, then absolutely wonderful. That's really good. And there's a relatively small impact had on that, so which is great. So I suppose what I'm saying is really, it's still a great time. It was a good time last time I was on here to move forward and start your internet business, selling on Amazon and everything. It's still a great time. And if anything, probably even better, because we've had this period of a month to 6 weeks where people have been stuck at home and they've been searching for products on Amazon principally. So we've now got this whole wave of new prospective customers that have come our way, and they're going to continue to stay there. They've just realized actually it's really great ordering on Amazon. You get, your product within a day or two. So they're still going to be there. So, again, wonderful time to start selling. I know the impact it's had on me personally as an Amazon seller has been astounding. I've sold out. I've got one product that's not sold out, and I think I've got 80 units left. It's been absolutely incredible. It's been like Christmas for me, which is wonderful. So my problem now is actually getting my new stock, getting them. I'm sort of kicking my suppliers up the backside at the moment, trying to get them to hurry up and get my new stock in. So, it's a nice problem to have. Is what I'm saying, is that, and it just shows you that there's always potential out there. I'm actually just in the process, and while I was waiting, I was doing a little bit more product research to I'm going to be releasing 2 or 3 new products. So that's for me saying I'm an established seller. I'm introducing new products because it's still a good time to start introducing products on Amazon and getting on there. But mindset is what it's all about. I absolutely agree with what Mark was saying. It's so important to get in that right mindset, think positively, and there are going to be things that will be put in your way. Look at them in a positive way. Again, this is going back to what I said when I was on before. Look at them. Well, okay, that's fine. It's something that's in my way, but let's think of a way of getting around it. Don't let it stop you. Think of it as a learning curve. Let it help you move forward rather than remaining static or move backwards. Embrace it, and you will succeed with the right mindset. And this, of course, this is what our lovely John always says to us, and he's absolutely spot on.
Well, thank you, Amanda. And thank you for that validation and corroboration of the thing that I spend most of my time thinking about is not so much the nuts and bolts how-to stuff, but who's doing it and why are we doing it, right? So the mindset, most of this business is right here. And I could say that, regardless of what business we're talking about, which is kind of cool and timeless. So we're going to go ahead and take questions for Amanda right now. I see that Darren has his hand raised first. Darren, come on out.
Hi, Amanda. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Amanda. Nice to meet you. I'm based in the UK as well.
Excellent.
So just out of curiosity, how long have you been doing this?
So 4 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, I started, I wasn't on Sophie's program. It wasn't available at that time. But, in my humble opinion, Sophie's program is just fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. And I've loved every minute of that 4 years. Lots of experience, lots of learning, still learning every day. But yeah, wonderful 4 years. Best 4 years of my working life, hand on heart.
Fantastic. Now, because I was going to ask whether you'd come on as a result of being an independent and then joining the program and what the differences were, but it just seems like, well, you answered my question anyway. I think definitely seems like we're all in the right place, which is encouraging.
Yes. Yeah.
And thanks, John.
Very good. Thank you, Darren. And next thing you know, you'll be up that mountain as well. So glad you're here. Let's go to Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, I'm not doing the video because I have my pajamas on, but I have a question for you. When you're opening up your Amazon seller account, which I'm starting to do, I got booted out. They said information wasn't right. When you say are you an individual or is you a privately owned business? Which one do you choose?
It's up to you. You can start as an individual, and then upgrade to being a business seller at a later date. If you've got an LLC already open and you're going to use that, then you can start off that way. It's a personal choice, really. I know a lot of people go on as an individual and then upgrade.
Okay.
And that seems to be quite a good way of doing it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Jesse.
Okay.
And I don't see any other hands raised, but I do have people in the chat here, so I may read some questions if you're having trouble with your connection or being able to. Okay, I see someone physically raising their hand. Hey, okay, go ahead. You got the floor, sir.
Thank you so much. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Yeah, I've been selling on Amazon for 6 to 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem was that I didn't have this strategy. Because I know there's people that are doing arbitrage. There's people that are doing private label, and there's people that are doing different strategies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I was just selling anything that sells on Amazon. I'll just sell it.
Yeah.
I never used to use the keywords or whatever, but I'll just take my phone and try and get the image, and I wasn't doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, after COVID, the human behavior will really change.
Yeah.
What do you see with the products that you have created? Do you think there's going to be a change in behavior of products to create and products to sell?
I think, yes, that's a really valid point, actually. I think there is going to be a change. And I think that change was already coming in because a lot of eco-friendly products have started, or 6-12 months have been a real influx of eco-friendly type products. So I think that's probably going to continue with, because we're so aware of the world at the moment and the effect. We've all seen that COVID has had not just effect on us as humans, but on you know, the environment and everything, because we haven't been able to get out, you know, it's had a massive effect on the environment in a positive way. So I think that's opened our eyes to the eco side of things. So I think that's going to be, I think it's going to, it's difficult at this moment in time to say, you know, oh, this is or this isn't going to sell. So I think it with regards to searching for a product, it's still the way that, you know, Sophie teaches, and that is still a valid way of looking. Sorry, go on.
My prediction is that there's going to be a bit of restrictions in what you can do within Amazon. You know, Amazon rules are going to be slightly stricter with what you can sell in terms of health and safety issues.
Yeah, I mean, there's already quite tight restrictions in terms of anything like, you know, if it's anything that you either put in or onto your body, there's quite strict restrictions there. I think those will certainly remain at the level they are, if not increase. And I think that's good. That's the way it should be. So yeah, I do think there is going to be that difference. It is going to change slightly, but to reflect things in a good way. I know it doesn't sound like I'm answering it particularly well. Yeah. It's very difficult to sort of state at this stage what is going to happen, but there will be big changes. And I think, again, sort of almost going back to what I was saying before, is that, you know, you have to keep up with what's going on. You have to move along, keep in the right mindset. If you are in the right mindset, then you will move with changes. And it's just, you know, I'm always looking on Amazon for things that are coming in, new things that are coming in, and that will reflect what's happening today, will reflect in the next few months, I think. And
uh-oh, I think we lost Amanda.
Yeah,
Amanda?
We lost him. Anyway, thank you. Greetings from
like
United
I said, I do think that eco-friendly products is a great way. There is a. Am I back? Yes.
You're back. You're back now, Amanda. Very good. Thank you. And Obi was just acknowledging your guidance. Thank you so much. Obi, say hi to Star for us. Very good.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. She's at work today, so she couldn't be around today.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Yeah. We do have a couple people in the chat here, and then we're going to go to our next question. But Tony's asking, John, may I ask a question? Yes, Tony, you can. Please raise your hand and we'll get that. Or if you need to type it in the chat, that would be good too. I've got a couple items in the chat here, Amanda, that you may want to address. Is there a website like Alibaba for US suppliers? I know prices won't be as low, but would rather source from the USA. Mary Doyle asked that question.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, no. Whenever I'm trying to source in the States, I just use Google. You know, Google is the best way to find lots of things. I'm sure most people, you know, when you're doing a quiz, what's that? Let's go to Google. So I always say Google is my best friend. Look on Google and type in whatever it is and the name and you know, manufacturers in the USA. If you're searching from the UK, then use Google USA, because otherwise you'll get more UK results. So if you, like I say, just go on to Google USA. But yeah, that's the best way I found, is just using Google. If anybody does come across anything, I mean, there was one that I know people were talking about earlier. Was it Thomasnet or
Thomasnet.com? Yes.
Yeah, I've not used that myself. I just had a quick look while we were, you know, before we went live. And it seems to be more industrial side of things. There's less sort of industrial related things on there, but you know, certainly have a look if there's anything that maybe within any of those niches.
Very good. Thank you, Amanda. We're going to go to Helen next. Helen Greenham, you've got the floor.
Hi. This is probably a bit of a daft question, but I'm in the UK, to set up a Amazon account for the States, do I need an address or a zip code for the States?
No.
When I log on to Amazon, it says we're showing you things that will be delivered to the UK. So how do I get around that?
Right, so when you register for Amazon in the US, you don't need to be registered. You don't need to have an address over there. If you're just searching for items on Amazon.com, if you go into the top left-hand corner, there's a to one. If you just put in 90210 in the zip code and click apply, you'll get the right results come up. It's easy to remember. Everybody tends to know 90210. So from the TV series. So yeah, if you just put that in there, then you'll get all the right results. You'll notice the difference when you have your UK address and then change it to a US zip code. It makes a huge difference in search results. So it's quite important to do that.
Brilliant.
Yes, but setting up your Amazon account, you don't need to.
Your seller account. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let's go to Isaac Cobb. Isaac, you've got the floor.
Hey, I just had a quick question, and it's have you had any problems with COVID-19 so far with getting your shipments to come in from China or where have you? I'm waiting on a sample, and it's been a few weeks, and it was supposed to only take a couple of weeks, and I know that that's probably due to the situation currently going on, but just wanted to get your insight on that.
Yeah, there has been delays.
What do you do to mitigate?
Right. So yeah, I know initially, obviously, because China was completely shut down for quite some time, there was a lot of delays, and I know that the air freight coming out of China at the moment is ridiculously expensive. So most people are going for sea freight, which obviously then is an extra delay. But it's sort of like a balance between paying prohibitively expensive prices for air freight or, actually making a profit, but it take a bit longer. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do in terms of speeding that process up. The Chinese, I know, are doing everything they can to try and clear that backlog. It's in their best interest. They want to get their economy back on track, and for them to do that is to clear the backlog. So they will be working as hard as they can. But unfortunately, it's just one of those things. I ordered something, a test sample back in February, and it took about 6 weeks to come through. So, there is that delay, and there's not too much we can do about it, I'm afraid.
So do you think that it would be maybe a wise decision to, while waiting on that sample to come, maybe on the other product that I'm looking at, maybe go ahead and have a sample on that one and so on, so I can.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, if what I was saying earlier about American suppliers, if you maybe could source something in America, that might be something to look at. It certainly mean that you could probably get quicker to market with it. And even if, you find that it's a slightly more expensive sample or expensive product, actually, it's a great way to go through that process and get it listed and working. Once you've gone through that process once, it really sort of starts to bed in and you get used to it. And I think, your first product is great experience. And, it tends to ease up after that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. We're going to go to Jim next. Jim, you've got the floor.
Hi, John. Hi, Amanda. We did sit down a couple of weeks ago. I think my question I've got for you is, as you're a seller already, and you have the experience of being in the field, and we're kind of on that journey to get that first product out there. When you have a new launch or a new brand, do you have a favored strategy to support the product to get it marketed and visible, and what would be your favored strategy for a new launch to help everyone here?
Yeah, one of the things I always do is PPC. So I always start Amazon advertising campaign. I know that Fiona Prout is in the process of doing some videos about PPC. So if anybody's at that point, you know, or have a look, but keep it in your mind for where you are. The other thing that I'm really, really keen on is YouTube. It's such an amazing platform. I've done it before and it was so successful for me. As I was saying earlier, I'm just going to be launching some new products. And so I'm actually going to be going back to my YouTuber and asking if she can do me another video to review them for me. But I'm almost in two minds, because when she did it the last time, I sold out within 10 days. So it was amazing. But then all of a sudden I've got nothing left. So, you know, that's YouTube is a really, really good platform. As long as you pitch it at the right level, make sure, you know, you don't want someone who's got millions of subscribers, because then that does create the problem of, well, your stock's gone and then you've got nothing. So what I would say is micro influencers on YouTube. So that's 20 to 50,000 followers or subscribers. That's a really nice level to go for. Plus the fact they're cheaper. Sometimes you don't even have to pay. You can just give them one of your products and they'll just do it for the, you know, for the having your free product. So yeah, I would say that's a good way to go.
Cool. And just a very quick follow-up one. In terms of website, because many sellers on Amazon have websites, how important would you say it is, and at what time point would you say is best? Because it's another thing for people to think about whilst they're trying to get their heads around everything else.
Yeah, I agree. It is another thing to think about, but I'd still think of it as an investment in my business. I think it's really important to have a website. You get Google traction as well if you've got a website. It hasn't got to be super complicated. GoDaddy now, I spoke to them the other week about something to do with my website. And they actually offer setting up your website for them. So if you buy your domain name through them, they'll offer this service and it's free. Obviously, you have to pay for your domain name, but them setting up the website is free. So that's really good, and it simplifies it a lot as well. But I do think that it's really important. And particularly if you are going to go down the social media or external to Amazon advertising, it doesn't look great if the link is, you know, amazon.com. loads and loads of letters and numbers. If it's, you know, the link is to your website, and then they can also see if you've got other products, you straight away showing them all your product range, and then just your buy button. All that has to do is they click on it and it zooms them straight off to Amazon. So you don't have to physically do anything, but it just looks a bit more professional, I think. And that's what I did right from the start. And somebody, when they said to me, you know, oh, you're gonna have to set up your own website, I thought, oh my goodness, how do I do that? But I did it. If I can do it, anybody can.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great question, Jim. And that answered your question that you also put in the chat, right? So about the video, Jim, that was your question in the chat as well?
It was Isaac. I was just wondering if you can't get the samples fast enough with the supply of video, the product as just a halfway house, just so he's got a visual. That was all.
Okay. So we all good on that? I'm sorry, guys, I'm listening and maintaining order here at the same time. So are we all good on that, Jim?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
Brilliant.
All right. Thank you, Jim. I'm going to give you a couple of rapid fire questions right out of the chat here, because some people aren't able to use their microphones. Ray asks, I have a sourcing question. I need help figuring out total landing cost for one unit that contains 5 pieces. Should I, as the supplier, for a quote on you, it price or price the individual pieces? Should I, as the supplier, for a quote on you, it price or price the individual pieces? I don't know. Maybe we can get Ray out here to ask that question verbally.
Yeah.
Okay. Esther says, Laura from Brooklyn has her hand up, but I don't know if you can see it. No, I can't see it unless she actually puts it up in the system. All right.
Just a quick one here. Somebody said on, who do you use on YouTube, or how do you find these people that would do it? Literally searching through YouTube. That's what I did. I spent, you know, an afternoon looking for YouTube influencers that were relative to my product. And I sent probably about 20 emails or messages out to them So it's just a case of, you know, bit of sitting in front of the telly, looking for relevant YouTubers and messaging them.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let's go back to our callers. We have Matthew is up next. Hey, Matthew, you've got the floor.
Hello there. How you doing?
Good.
Hi there.
Good. Hello, Amanda. My question actually was, I'm a UK-based sort of newbie seller as well. Did you have any advice based on hurdles that you may have encountered about setting up, if it's a US LLC, but you're setting up a UK-based currency account? And have you used things like Revolut, any of the online banks, anything like that?
Yeah, my limited company is based in the UK. So I just, you know, I've used that for the UK and the US.
Okay.
I've got a high street bank account, which I've got a dollar account and a sterling account, but I also actually use World First. If you message me, I can send you the link, or I'll try and put it perhaps on the chat.
Sure.
They're fantastic, World First are, because it's particularly if you're getting starting up in the US, Amazon like to have something that they're familiar with, and they've got, I'm not sure whether they've got an affiliation, but they're certainly familiar with World First. There's no bank charges with them. And amazingly, when you phone them up, they answer the phone. Get an actual person on the other end of the phone. So they've been fantastic with me. And there's no, quite often again, if Amazon pay into, I think if they're paid into a US dollar account in the UK, I think Amazon charge you for that. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they do. Again, so World First is a great one to use. And also what is great about that, I tend to try and leave my Amazon money in my World First account and pay my suppliers straight from it. So you're not having to, initially they didn't, but they do now. So I used to have to send it over to the UK and then send it out to my suppliers. I don't have to do that anymore. So it's really, really simple. So I will put the link to it in the chat in a moment. So bear with me if I've got like a funny expression on my face while I just find.
Okay, you go ahead and do
That's really
that.
helpful.
And
Thanks very much.
thank you, Matthew. Glad you're here. And we are going to go back. We've got people in queue. We got Kenneth's iPhone. We got Linda. We got Adrian, Evelyn, Julia, Laura, and Amanda. So we're going to get to everybody here. While Amanda Greaves is going ahead and doing what she's doing there, I'm going to go ahead and.
Can everybody see that?
Okay, so not yet. So did you put it in for everyone to see, or
no?
did you just send it to an individual? So
I think I just sent it to an individual.
Broadcast to all, and then that'll show up.
Everyone. Yeah, got
Right.
it.
Very good. As soon as we see that, we'll read the next. There we go. Amanda just placed that link. Everyone, you can go ahead and click on that. By the way, Zoom has resumed clickable links, which I'm so happy about. We've got a question here from Evelyn. Good morning, everyone. I've got a problem with ID verification because there's not one option on the dropdown. I have a UK driver's license, but no British passport. Can I type in my license details and replace where it says passport, even though I can't change the field on Amazon Seller Central platform?
That's a difficult one. I would be inclined to give Amazon a call on that one. As far as, because I know you can't change it once you've clicked on the type of ID, it won't let you go back and change it. So you could maybe try that and see what happens. If that doesn't work, then I would certainly give them a call and explain to them, you know, what the problem is and what you're trying to do. They don't make it easy for us. I'm hoping that they start simplifying that process soon and making it a bit easier. But yeah, it's a difficult one. But yeah, I would say, first of all, try it. If that doesn't work, try and get in contact with them and sort of see if they can sort it out.
Very good. Thank you so much. Let's go now to Kenneth's iPhone. Hey, Kenneth's iPhone. Kenneth? Or Kenneth's iPhone? One or the other. You're unmuted, Kenneth. Commence talking. Talking now.
Okay, my question
Kenneth.
is this. Would you suggest, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Oh, no, I think he's gone.
Oh, we just like that. Poof.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to Linda, and then we'll see about getting Kenneth back on here. Go ahead, Linda.
Hello, hi Amanda.
Hello.
Hello. I have a couple of questions for you if I'm allowed to be a bit cheeky. Whereabouts in the UK are you from?
Just north of Birmingham, near Stafford.
Okay, I'm from south of Birmingham, so I just want to say hi.
Oh, wonderful.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're very, very blessed today.
Yeah.
I had a question. I just wondered, we're encouraged through Sophie's program to do a lot of reading, which I've always done throughout my career. And I wondered if you had one that stuck out in your mind in particular that you wanted to share.
Yes, and I can't remember what it's called now. I've got loads. I've got lots on. I listen to audiobooks and to read Kindle books as well. Let me just get my list up. Of course.
While you're looking up that, Jay Major, I see you trying to get out here. I've got you on the list manually, even though some reason your hand raising button isn't working. But I know you're here.
Where is it?
Amanda?
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry. So somebody said, "Is my world first account?" Sorry, I'm not with it. I'm
I'm
looking
sorry, I
at.
thought you were coming up with an answer for Linda. I was asking about a book or something. Linda, can you restate the
Yes,
question?
I'm still trying to find the name of it, to be honest.
Amanda, don't
Okay.
worry about that. Perhaps you can post it in the group chat afterwards. But my last question was, did
Yeah.
you have a particular system that you kept to log everything? Or did you just go in gung-ho and as you went on, just picked it up and then found a system?
A bit of both is the honest answer to that. There were certain things I was very, very organised with, and sort of, I think I've got a bit of a split personality in that way. I'm so organised in some ways, and so disorganised in others. So, since I've been coaching, I've probably been more organised because I think, well, I can't tell people to do theirs the way perhaps I did mine. They need to be a bit more methodical than I was. So, and I mean, I think one thing that which about Sophie's course is there's a lot there that you can use that helps you, almost set that path out.
Yeah.
But I would say that, if there's things when you're going through the process that maybe don't quite, you can't quite get your head around, when you go through it, it becomes clear. Make a note of it. Anything that you think, if you're listening to a video or you find something, that's what I like. I am a great note taker, I have to say. But make a note of where you see something, because we've all done this where we think, oh, that's really good information, that, and then we don't write down where it's from. Like me with that book, I can't find it now. So, yeah, I think keep as organised as you can. Really.
Thank you, Amanda, and
Thank
you,
you
John.
so much. Thank you for participating. So glad Linda is here. Kenneth, we're going to get Kenneth back out here. I think his phone may be working now. Let's go ahead. And Kenneth, can we hear you now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Very good.
My question was, would you suggest getting your first listing on Amazon done professionally? If so, who would you suggest to do this type of work for you?
I can answer that question for you directly. Where are you at in the Jetstream process, Kenneth?
As far as the modules are concerned, or?
Yeah, Sophie's
Or the
videos, you're
video.
working with your accountability rep. Who's your accountability rep?
Jan Berger.
Jan Berger. We love Jan. All right, so Jan's going to get you through some more videos, and Sophie's actually got some real special stuff that relates exactly to your question that you're going to be seeing in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. Thank you,
Appreciate
Kenneth. I'm glad you got back on as well with all the internet stuff we've got going on today. Let's go to Adrian, and Adrian, you've got the floor.
Yeah, hi. Hi from the sunny UK. Got to say, Amanda, I've just got so many ideas from what you've had to say, and I'm sure it's the same for everybody else. It's absolutely been brilliant, and I'm glad. Fantastic. Just a question to you, and it may well go out wider on the floor. Are you familiar with the legal action going on in the States at the moment with Amazon prying into sellers' data and launching their own products? Have you come across this yet?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it hugely, but I am aware of it. And I think it's been touched on in this country as well, you know, reported on, I should say, in this country. And, you know, I think hopefully it's going to have a positive result. You know, I know that Jeff Bezos was once quoted as saying that the FBA sellers were making more money than he was, or some words to that effect. Don't think that's true. But you know, I think we never know what he's going to do in the future with it. However, there's an awful lot of FBA sellers on there. And I think, you know, things like this hopefully will, you know, the right decision will be made ultimately legally. I think it's sort of thought that he was a bit untouchable. So it's a bit of a difficult one, but yes, I am aware of it. And I think one of the things I think to maybe avoid that, I think if you go by Sophie's program and follow the steps and things that she recommends, I actually think that's less likely to happen, because she's not telling us to go after, you know, big branded items to copy them and stuff like that. And also, if you look through when you're doing your product research, and something comes up, you look at a category and there's a lot of Amazon listings in there, just leave it, you know, don't go in there. Go for something where it's more FBA listings in there. And I think hopefully, you know, that shouldn't be a problem. Can't guarantee anything, but you can just do as much as you can to try and avoid it.
Brilliant. I sort of think it's a good opportunity, to be honest, because I think there'll be a lot more careful about what they're doing, and it might actually give us extra security rather than less security. Apologies about the dog. Yeah. I'm going to say sorry about the dog. She obviously doesn't know it's not Friday today. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I believe Ramtha Enough has a question, but wasn't able to get her hand raised. I also got Juliet, InQ, and Tolu for those same technical reasons. Ramtha, did you want to?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, good morning. I'm from Connecticut. Actually, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. Just so you guys have it's Eastern Standard Time. Right. But my name is Sharon, by the way. That Ramtha Enough, it's like the Google whatever for Skyping. So sorry about that. I don't know how to take that off of there. So the question is, this is my second day on the chat. So I want to be really basic. I listen to audiobooks too, and it's pretty cool. I listened to Miracle Morning. I started that yesterday. So my question to you, Amanda, being this many years out, if you can remember back when you were kind of in my shoes, and I when everybody's talking about products and listing and legalese and all that kind of stuff, that's so far from where I am. I want to be really basic and really in the moment. And so my question to you is, can you walk us through sort of even a half a day of what one of your days is like? That would be really helpful for me.
Yeah, it's a difficult one in some ways, because my days have changed since becoming a coach. So probably half of my day is spent doing coaching. I mean, again, it's with any Amazon business, and I sort of covered this on the previous call, and my thinking is that always make it about your pace, you know. So particularly at this point in time, you've just started, make sure that you do all of this at your pace, do it how you're happy with. If you're happy, you're going to be in the right mindset there. Therefore, you will continue with it. Don't try to race through if you don't feel comfortable doing that. I probably spend an hour a day, maybe, on my Amazon. As a general rule, over this next few weeks, it's probably going to ramp up quite a bit because I've just, got these new products coming in. So it does depend. If you're somebody who wants to go in and get lots of products out there, then obviously there's going to be a lot more work involved. If you want to do things at a sort of fairly steady pace, you can then, 1 or 2 hours a day, maybe. So it's not very easy to put a certain time frame on it. But generally 2 hours a day is probably enough to keep it ticking along. I'm not sure how much time Sophie takes, probably more because she's got so many irons in the fire, but I actually don't know how she does what she does, to be honest. I think she's amazing, but yeah, just it's certainly doable. I've got 3 children I look after on my own, and I'm able to coach and run my Amazon business around them quite comfortably. So, and still enjoy it. It's not too taxing. So I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And you can just change your name in the Zoom account and that will
Okay.
change your name. You'll be all set with that. I do have a quick question here from Teresa in South Florida. If you're lost, we want to find you. Okay, so get back with your accountability rep and they will get you on board. All right, Teresa, go ahead and get that handled. We're going to go next to Julia in Iowa. Hey, Julia. Oh, I just lost Julia. Hold on a second. Let's try it again. And Julia.
Okay, got it. Quick question from me. How much do you pay in a range? What would you pay an influencer? You say sometimes you don't have to pay anybody, Amanda, or any money other than product, but I've had someone approach me about a novelty product that my husband and I developed, and they wanted $2,000, which sounded ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous to me as well. I actually paid £180 for my YouTube video, which I think probably works out about what, $230, something around about that sort of figure. I think that's more than enough to pay. I did, and this is something I would recommend you do. I played my violin, I'm just starting out, I can't afford much, and which was true at the time. And she came back and said, all right then, because initially she said £400, so she came down to 180. That's the sort of level you want to pay. You don't want to be paying $2,000 unless you've got 10,000 units that you need to get rid of. I wouldn't go for something like that, because when you measure up the cost per unit of paying out $2,000, it could be actually that you might sell out, but you don't make any profit. So it's always a balance. Try and do it for just the product if you can, which is why I say going for micro influencers is the best way to do it. Because, the big influencers on there, they expect a lot of money, and I think I don't want to pay a lot of money. I want a nice steady trickle of sales to come through, and that usually happens with the micro influencers.
Thank you. Do you have them do more than one video for you, or one testimonial over time, or generally you just do it once?
I've only done one so far, but I will get in touch with her when I introduce my new products. I'll still keep in touch with her anyway, and so I'm sort of prepared the way for my next one. You don't necessarily have to do them close together, though. I mean, I still get sales from that first video. I still get people messaging me saying, I've just watched this video and seen your product and bought it, and I think it's great and stuff like that. So, I think if you've got a new product, then yes, maybe. But an existing one, I wouldn't necessarily think so, unless you think that it needs a bit of a boost again.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Awesome stuff. Thank you. I also want to mention a couple of things here in the chat. Lee is acknowledging you, Amanda. Thank you. He's very glad that he got on here with us all today. We have a few other ancillary questions, and I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. We are coming up on the top of the hour, so we're going to wrap this up soon, but we've got a couple quick items in here. One from Zach: how long until the keywords will reflect the post-COVID market? I'm assuming we're talking about keyword research and all that. Do you have an opinion about that?
Gosh, again, difficult question to answer really, because we don't know as a, what's going to happen. No, I don't know. I mean, we've got to wait for, the curve is starting to flatten now. So things are slightly starting to change. But I would imagine that it's going to be, once lockdown has gone and once we're at a point where things are starting to get back to normal, that's going to be the point when, keywords are going to start going back to normal. But one thing I would say is when you are doing any research, if you've got helium-10 in particular, you can go back and see the graph from all time. So say, for instance, somebody's been selling for 12 months, it will tell you what their ranking has been over the past 12 months. You can always use sites like Camel, and they will give you the sales from the previous 12 months. And then that can give you an idea of sales pre-COVID. So, you can maybe get some sort of indication there.
Very good. Thank you so much. We're going to go to Brooklyn. I'm sorry. We're going to go to Laura in Brooklyn, New York. If I can unmute her mic, it doesn't seem to be. Oh, there we are. Laura, you've got the floor.
Amanda, thank you so much. I am really new to this. Right now I'm at a stage where I'm just familiarizing myself with the whole concept of even selling. Sales is far from anything, but I like the material. One thing I just want to get clear is on trademarks. I'm in the process of opening my LLC. How important, because I've heard you should trademark your business. I don't even have a seller's account because obviously I'm just in the process of how do you approach trademarking? Do you trademark your LLC, each product, or? Right.
Trademarking, it's best to do it to your brand rather than your LLC. So and it's not necessary to do it when you first start out. It's up to you really what stage you do it during the process. However, I think I was about 6 months in before I started trademarking and registering as a brand. It has slightly changed since then because when I started listing, you could put your brand name in whether you were brand registered or not. Amazon are tightening down on that, and it's just to stop other people from hijacking your listing and that sort of thing. So that's a bit of a change. So it may be that you can look at doing brand marking and branding and trademarking before that point. But as a sort of side to that, Amazon have introduced an accelerated IP program, which hopefully gets the trademark and all that process through quicker. They've got a number of attorneys that are affiliated to them, and you just pick one of them and they get through that process for you. And I've not used it myself, but from what I understand, it's a quicker and it's a more cost-effective way of doing it, because it's actually really complicated in America. I got an attorney to do mine in America. I did my own in the UK and it was okay, but USA, gosh, it was like so complicated. But now Amazon have introduced this IP accelerated program. It's much more simple, and I think top of my head it's around about $650, which I know is quite a lot of money, but I think you're almost it'll help you with your listing. If you're brand registered on Amazon, you can enhance your listing. You could, when you see the advertisements on the top of any page, you can do that sort of sponsored adverts, which obviously are really noticeable. And so there's much more you can do on there. So whilst it isn't absolutely necessary at this stage, if you are sort of launching a few products under that brand, I would say, maybe have a look at sort of 2-3 months in, whether you want to consider starting the brand process.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Laura. Glad you are here. And I've got someone who got their hand raised. Finally, it's Juliet. Come on out here, Juliet. Where is she? Here she is.
right here. Now,
Hey.
now I can't open the part to show my mug, you know, my ugly mug. But hey, Amanda, quick question. You mentioned something about doing your site with GoDaddy. I had started a site with I think it was Shopify. It didn't work out. So here I am now. I was wondering if you've got just 2 seconds, if you can just possibly go over that again. All I caught was, I didn't get the name of who you went with. I thought it sounded like GoDaddy. And you said you paid them, you registered with them, and then they assisted you with the setup of your site?
Yeah, I mean, I actually set up my own site, but it is GoDaddy, by the way.
Okay.
And yes, if you register your domain name with them, they are now offering a service where they will set up your website for you. So they will set it up, and then subsequent to that, you then obviously maintain it. But getting somebody to do that initial stage, I think, is invaluable. And as they are offering it as a free service, I think, you know, why not take that up? So yeah, that's the way I would certainly recommend future people for doing it.
So I can also buy a domain from them? Is that...
Yes, yeah, because
Okay,
I
good.
actually bought my domain name through them initially, but then set my account, sorry, my website up on Wix.
Okay.
And then GoDaddy phoned me and they said, did you know that we do website management as well? And I was like, well, no, I didn't. And then that's when they said, you know, well, we can set up your website for you. So I've said, well, you know, I actually teach people how to do this. Can I recommend this to them? And they said, yeah, tell them that we'll help, that we'll set up the website. And then I think they even sort of go through a way that you can maintain it in future. And from what I understand, it's fairly user friendly.
Okay.
You want something that's easy to follow, and I think it is pretty much.
How's the cost approximately?
Very good. I'm sorry, Juliet, was there something else?
The cost, like, is it really pricey? And...
Well, a basic
no,
website
not-
they're throwing in for free, but I mean, if you're expecting like this big graphic design job, no, that's money. That's money. So
Okay.
yeah. So, but a website exists on that domain. That's a start. That's a start.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Very good. You are so welcome. And I am going to get to everybody here. Obviously, we're running long today, but we'll take a few more minutes and make sure everybody at least got to talk. Look who's next. Amanda and Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. Hello, Amanda. This is my third meeting, and I've just got a bit waylaid today because I had trouble getting onto Helium. I can't access X-ray or anything like that, and there's been a problem. But I noticed that there's a subscription option, and I just wondered whether you go for the subscription option, whether you've paid a lot of money. You know, it's like $96 a month or something. And I'd also wondered whether you would go with a US influencer, as it's a US Amazon.
Right. So first of all, hello. Speak to another Amanda. And your first question about sorry, well, do your influence?
Helium.
Yeah, Helium 10. Yeah, I go for a subscription on there, but I actually share it with somebody. Because I was paying for the full amount myself, and then one of she's a friend of mine who actually met through Blue Sky, and we were chatting and we said, well, why don't we share it? I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this, but we do. And it reduces that cost. We both use it absolutely. There's no problems at all. And so whether that's, you know, something that is if there's anybody else that, you know, might be willing to do that, because I do understand it's $97 is quite a lot to pay. It is worth that in you know, in terms of back. But yeah, that's how I get round it. What was the other thing?
About whether you use a US influencer.
I think that's so when you're searching through on YouTube.
That would obviously influence the US market.
yeah, it depends really. I mean, my my product was principally in the US at the time that I just about started in the UK.
Yeah.
But the UK based influencer, but her subscribers were worldwide.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it depends on how what sort of
What demographic she's got.
exactly.
Yeah, got you, yeah. Oh, it's early days yet, so I won't worry.
Yeah, it was easier obviously for me because I was dealing with somebody in the UK. But you know, if you've got your US account set up and everything like that, then again, it's fairly easy to, you know, to get somebody in the US.
Could I just ask you one more quick question? At what
Absolutely.
point did you go and see a tax consultant? You know, because obviously I've suddenly realised you've got to, you know, obviously I don't want to run before I can walk, but I'm just worried,
Yeah.
you know, because obviously that's got a merit, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
did you set your own company up, or did you go and see what an attorney? I mean, it's a solicitor or an accountant.
My ex-husband's my accountant.
Oh, but is it through an accountant? Is it an accountant would set it all up rather than a solicitor?
Yes, yeah, I would go to an accountant. I mean, I'm not particularly conversant with VAT and all that side of things.
No.
So, you know,
if you're going to make big money, you've got to like be, you know, be aware of it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's in his best interest for my business to go well. So
yes. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda.
That's lovely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
you.
So glad you were here, Amanda and Amanda. We've got Tony, Tolu, Innocente, Mohammed, and Pete and Christine, and we're going to wrap up with that. So let's go ahead now to Tony, if we can get Tony to unmute. Tony.
Hi.
There he is. Hey, Tony.
Hi. Thank you, John. Thank you. Hi, Amanda. Amanda, I'm a novice, 8 days into the program. Loving it. Great. Mike, I would like to ask you one question. From what I've gathered thus far, you are obviously dealing with people without anything touching the UK on some of your products. So your supplier is abroad, you're selling into market through Amazon. How does that work tax-wise? What do I need to do? What are the VAT implications of such things?
Well, I think going back to what I was saying, I'm really not great with VAT. So, I mean, I do sell in the UK. I sell on Amazon in the UK. But I know that I don't pay tax on my sales in America, whereas any sales in the UK, I do. But I would say with anything like that, I would ask the advice of an accountant, to be honest. I don't want to start saying, you know, do this or do that and give you incorrect information because I'm not conversant in that area. I wouldn't want to mislead you in any way.
Yeah, okay. Well, just
if you want me to, I can pass you on my accountant's details. I can recommend him. So
it's your husband's.
yeah, my ex-husband.
Just one quick minor point, just one quick follow-up question, John. Yeah. How long approximately, Amanda, from you starting to making your first sale, how quick was it for you?
Okay, so I did my order in the July. And I chose sea shipping because it was cheaper. So obviously that takes longer to get there. And I had the lead time of when a product was being made. My stock arrived in Amazon at the end of October. And I had which was about, I think it was I had my first sale within a couple of days.
Right.
And then because of the time of year it was, I had Christmas, which was wonderful because it meant that, you know, I got sales through the Christmas period. I had my accounts done on my first quarter and I'd made a profit, which was really, really good. As you know, very few businesses make a profit in the first 12 months. I made a profit in the first 3. And that was with, absorbing all the costs and everything else. So I was super, super happy with that.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tony.
John.
Thank you.
And that's great perspective, Amanda, because I know we've got so many new members that are wondering how long does it really take to get to the dollars here? And well, I mean, how are you shipping? And you know, what are your how many products are you launching? In your case, right out of the gate as a newbie, there's money first 3 months, so including expenses. Well done. We're going to go to Tolu, my friend Tolu. If you can come out of here and talk for a second, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up here really soon. Tolu?
Thank you. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. I just want to ask, how long does it take you as a new seller to start selling foods on Amazon, gourmet food?
It will take slightly longer because you have to get ungated. So there's a bit more of a process to go through. I mean, it depends, you know, any product depends on things like lead time and delivery and things like that. With any gourmet foods or anything, you know, as I was saying earlier, that has to go inside or on the body, you have to get ungated. That can be anything from a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends on your communication with your supplier and your communication with Amazon. Amazon are very, very specific about what they want in terms of testing certificates and things like that. So if you have, you know, if you can go to your supplier and get the correct certificates they want straight away, then actually it could prove quite a quick process. It depends on supplier and Amazon really, and because you're the middleman, sometimes it can, you know, there can be a bit of a delay. You're chasing one and then chasing another. So it's a difficult one to answer specifically, but generally it does take a little bit longer than a, you know, a normal product. Somebody's just said on here, what does ungated mean? So a gated product is something that's certificates of safety, you know, if there's any safety issues. I know Tolu, you probably are aware of this. But,
yeah, because I'm just asking as a new seller, because I've approached a manufacturer, they have the FDA approval, everything is there. But as a new seller in Amazon, I looked at what I did. One of the products in Amazon, I use the ASIN to put it as if I want to list the product to see if I will be approved.
Yeah.
And they said I should apply. So I want to know how long as a new seller can you apply for it? Will they approve it, even if you have all your papers in place?
Yeah, I mean, yes, you can apply. I don't see why not. There are certain categories on Amazon that you have to have sold on Amazon for a certain period of time. Jewelry is one of them, like, which I would say not to anybody. You have to pay a $5,000 fee to sell jewelry, and this is precious metal jewelry, it's not costume jewelry. So I would never say that, and you have to have been selling for 12 months on Amazon. But with things like food and things like that, there's no reason why you can't. I know people who've come in and sold a cream or sold a sauce or something like that first time, and they've gone through and been ungated and sold, and it's still selling well now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tolu. And for those of our brand new members, if this is Greek, keep going through the course. Okay, you're gonna learn all this stuff. This is really good stuff. So where's my friend Innocent?
I'm here.
There she is.
Hello, Innocent.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Yes, you too. Have you got your little lad with you today? There he is.
Yeah, he's right there. Always with me.
Yeah.
I have a question. Basically, do you think it's a good, because I've been going through contacting suppliers, and I just want to know some of the product that I'm interested in. One supplier doesn't have them, so I have to contact more than one supplier. Do you think it's a good idea to work with two suppliers to combine one product? Is it cost effective? Like, because I'm thinking I'm gonna be paying double shipping because they will ship it separately.
That's something that you probably have to work the figures on. I know that a lot of people who use different suppliers. I know both Christine and Sophie have sold things where there's been multiple suppliers, and as long as you keep really accurate figures on how much everything is costing you, and make sure that it makes you enough money, then there's no reason why not, really.
Okay, and my thank you. My next question is, in the module, it says that you need to have products that are not too big, too heavy, not too heavy. Another one of my products, and the weight is about 4.5 kilo, the limit. Can I go over that? Because one of the products I'm interested in is like about 10 and a half kilos.
You can do. There's nothing wrong with it, but again, it's a costing thing. So you need to make sure that I think we went through the profitability calculator, didn't we? Put those figures into there so that you know how much your FBA fee is going to be and things like that. And if it's cost effective, then there's no reason why not. I think the reason that we say try to keep it small and light to start with. It's a simpler process, but we're not saying to you don't do it. If the figures add up and it's a great product, then there's no reason why not.
Yeah, because I think they're great product, and it would be a shame if I just don't go for them because of those difficulties, and I really want to challenge those and like make it work. So okay, so I will go through the figures and see.
Okay.
Can actually Thank you very much.
So glad you're here.
Citizens.
So good to see you. And we had Muhammad in queue, and he appears to have dropped. So we're going to wrap up today with Pete and Christine. Come on down. Uh-oh, they just muted themselves. Pete, Christine.
Hello. Hi, John. Hi, everyone.
Great to see you.
Two questions, if I can. Firstly, do we need to have some sort of liability insurance just in case something badly goes wrong? And my second question is, I've been contacting suppliers on Etsy with not very good responses. One was very blunt and said, "I will not sell to you. That is my massive competitor, so I'm not selling to you." So do I just keep plugging away with Etsy, and obviously about the insurance as well? Sorry, thanks,
Okay. I haven't got any liability insurance. Perhaps I should. Maybe it's something I need to look at. I think it's a personal thing, really. I should probably speak to my ex-husband and ask him, seeing as he's the one I tend to go to with any questions like that. So, I mean, Amazon's pretty safe generally. There's a lot of businesses out there where, it's a little bit more shaky. Amazon's pretty safe. It's a global brand. So, I can't sit here and say, oh, no, you don't have to, you don't need it. I think if you feel that you want it, then, for peace of mind, go for it. Just make sure that, you're not paying too much for it, because I know that some of the insurance you can get is ridiculously expensive. This sort of business in general, I would have thought it'd be quite reasonable, because, there's not, from an insurer's point of view, there's not, as many dangers as there is in maybe some other businesses. So yeah, just a personal thing, maybe get some quotes and see if you think it's worth it. And then the other thing with Etsy, just keep going. Yeah, you will get that. It's the same with any suppliers. You might get, if somebody you look for on even Alibaba, you don't get a good response, I just move on to the next one. My personal feeling is, if you get that response, it wasn't meant to be anyway. I think, move on to the next one. It is going to happen. Some people are so anti-Amazon, in those terms, that they feel their competition against them. And that's fine, just, park them and move on.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Amanda. Thanks, John, as well. Thank you.
Yes.
My pleasure, you
Yeah,
guys. Good to see
pleasure.
you both. Thank you all for participating today. And thank you, Amanda, for being so generous with your time. We were out of time an hour ago, but here we are. You're still here. So thank you for all you do. We'll have Amanda out again. What do you think? Maybe next month, right? We'll do a little.
I'd love to.
Yeah, very good. Ask the coach session, which this is officially our longest session by far. For those of you who are brand new here, keep going through your course. Get through your Jetstream steps as well with your accountability rep, because there's lots of goodies for you at the end of that road. Just mark my words, okay? And get with your accountability reps today. Let them know you just enjoyed this session. And of course, if you have any questions on any logistics and things, of course, you've got customer support at knowledgesource.com.au. That would be your lifeline there as you're going through your coursework. Amanda, thank you again, my friend. I will look forward to seeing you again here real soon. All right.
Wonderful. I've loved it as I did last time, John. And I just say thank you so much. You're awesome. You're a legend.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye for now.
You too. See
Bye-bye.
you.